Hey, what's going on, guys? Vandelay here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get the Golden Wave achievement in Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. So right off the bat here, we are in Sylvania Castle Zone, and you're going to want to make sure you pick up every single ring before the boss, because some acts, or some boss fights, have only 50 rings, some have a lot more than 50, some they have like 60 or something, but the Sylvania Castle Zone boss only has 50 rings, so you don't make sure you pick up every single one. I have to go back here and pick up those last three, because Tails couldn't pick them up for me. But, yeah, so I think most people are probably going to be watching this for the Oil Desert boss and the final boss. But just in case someone needs help, maybe, you know, they can watch this and see how to do, this boss or the White Park boss. Just in case, you never know. And it was not the only one who thought this was going to be an Aquatic Ruin boss rehash. I mean, the pretty nice troll moment there by Sega. But anywho, so to start off the fight, you're gonna want to just fight him as normal. Just keep using Tails, keep hitting him. You really can't hit him with Supersonic at this point. And when I say you really, well, you sort of can, because if you jump at the right angle, like you have to be perfect. You can actually land a hit on him, but I don't recommend that, because if you don't get it the first time or first couple times, you're going to run out of rings. So in his second phase, he gets 4 tentacles out, and pretty much the same strategy, just remain in the air, do not get hit, because if you get hit, you have to restart, because there's no way that you can get your 50 rings back. I believe you get something like 32 rings back after you get hit with 50, or something like that. But, we're still fighting him as normal. And this boss fight, I mean, the last hit, like last hit or two, is going to be Supersonic, because this achievement requires you to defeat every boss as Supersonic, and it can be kind of tricky, some of the bosses. But phase 3 here is his tentacle arms, for whatever reason, start to choke him. I don't know if he gets some sort of sick thrill out of that. I don't know. I'm just dancing, trying to get past the time here. But then right here is when you transform into Supersonic, because he dips down, and that's your opportunity to hit him there. And bada bing, bada boom, that's the first boss down. If you try to hit him as Supersonic in the other phases, A, you won't be able to jump high enough, and B, you'll just hit underneath him and it won't damage him at all, because he's got this weird little shield thing going on. But yeah, that was the first one. Not too hard, I'm sure. Everybody else already knows how to do that, but just in case you didn't know, that's how you defeat the Sylvania Castle boss with Supersonic. And nice extra life there. So on to, I almost said Act 2, on to boss number 2. The White Park Zone boss, and make sure you pick up that ring box behind there, I almost forgot that. The strategy for this one, I mean, this is a lot easier to beat him as Supersonic. But with this one, there's not 50 rings before the boss, there's only 41. So you have to pick up the rest of your rings during the boss fight, which is different from the Sylvania Castle Zone boss. So I just pretty much stay away from him until I get my 50 rings. It's pretty funny here, if you see Sonic in the background, he's just, his arms in the air and his legs just kind of straight. His skidding animation just kind of stuck there, it's pretty funny. But yeah, so once you get 50 rings, then you can transform, and you're fine, because there's going to be rings constantly thrown at you. So there's no worry that you'll get untransformed. But yeah, I mean, just yeah, you pretty much fight him like you normally would, but with Supersonic, you can really go all balls out. And the thing with Supersonic is that he deals double damage to bosses, and that is very important for some of the bosses later on. And if you're ever in the background as normal Sonic, be very careful when you hit a spring, because if you hit a spring, sometimes it will launch you into Metal Sonic, and that's obviously bad, because you lose all your rings. But yeah, I mean, he's really no challenge as Supersonic. The only thing that might get you is his bottomless pit attack, but I think it's easier to avoid that in the background than is the foreground, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, he's probably the easiest boss to beat as Supersonic. So, after this we have Oil Desert, and I'm sure that's what most people are here for, is the Oil Desert boss. And it took me a while. I got this achievement last night, actually, May 23rd. Assuming this video goes up May 24th, that is. But yeah, he's down now. He just does a little cartwheel and tumbles down off the screen there. But yeah, I mean, this one took me a while because I had to figure out a strategy for the Oiled Desert boss and the final boss. So, Sonic Tails freed the bunnies and the penguins. It's all fine and dandy. Not sure why I left the result screens in, but, I don't know. Just enjoy them. Whatever. Nice little score there. Nice big old time bonus. So here's the Oiled Desert boss. Now this one's important, with the ring-wise. You don't have to get every single ring, but it is highly recommended that you do. And I had to retry here because I missed those rings. Probably should have cut that out, but I'm not that smart. But anywho, yeah, make sure you collect all the rings, because if you screw up, you really don't want to, you know, it sucks screwing up at the very end, you know. So there's going to be 28 rings before you hit the ground here, so you should have 28 here. Pick up those 3, ring box, and I believe you will end up with, I want to say 56? Yes, 56 rings. Tails dies on the screen there, it's pretty funny. So you have 56 rings here, and very important, watch what I do. Fly all the way up and pick these rings up. Normally you wouldn't get these until, you know, a lot later in the boss fight. But picking these up now is very important, as we need as many rings as possible for the first couple hits here. And does anyone else just really not enjoy watching these, you know, these little boss intros? I mean, it takes like a minute to a minute and a half for some of these bosses to even start. And that is so annoying when you're trying to get this achievement, because you have to sit through this every single time you mess up. And especially here, it's annoying. But what I like to do is I transform for every hit, and then immediately transform back into normal Sonic, and this only wastes like 1 or 2 rings per transformation. That's very important, because not only do we do double damage, but you know, we only lose like a couple rings. So every time he opens up, just transform, hit him, and immediately go back. And like I said, you only waste like a ring or 2, and it's I think it's the best method. And you know, the longer you're in this stage, the more opportunities you have to get hit. And it is possible to get 50 rings after you get hit in this stage, but it will take you a long time because you have to keep going up and you know, collecting rings. And I recommend also flying upwards, you know, flying up with Tails to grab any extra rings that might be up there. You know, because we're back at 65. We've only lost 1 ring since the start of the fight, really. So, very, very good method here, I discovered. And of course, like I said before, he does double damage. So we're also going through this a lot faster. And of course, you gotta watch out for those arrows, man, you know, because those arrows are telling you where these boxes are gonna drop. So, obviously, you know, when they're red, get out of the way. So, then the final phase here is you have to fly up here with Tails, and the signpost there is telling you to do your Super 69, but you gotta wait for him to get in the right position. So he's gonna jump back into the foreground, jump back into the background, and one more time into the foreground, and then he's gonna jump right where you're standing. Do your Super 69 into his feet, boom. Then you gotta transform and just get the final hit on him, and there you go. There's the Oiled Desert boss. Like I said, this one took me a while because I think, I mean, what really helps is getting those rings before the boss starts, like inside the boss arena, because having those 65 or 66 rings is really important. Because you always want to be over 50 rings, because you know, once you drop under 50, obviously you can't transform. And look at that time bonus! My goodness, that's quite the total there. So onwards to the next boss fight, and that is the Sky Fortress boss. Super Sonic destroys this boss. Obviously, you just collect all the rings at the start here. I believe there's a little over 50. Yeah, there's like 56 or so. But the thing about this boss fight is there's always rings being thrown at you, just like the White Park Zone boss. So it's a lot easier to maintain Super Sonic, you know, because you always have a constant ring supply. But yeah, I mean, since he does double damage, this boss fight is over, you know, just in a snap. You know, it's nothing. You know, it's funny that I mean, this boss as normal Sonic gave me the hardest time when I was playing through it the first time. I lost so many lives on this boss, so I just couldn't. I just understand, you know, the patterns and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, you can really transform it anytime you want. It doesn't matter. So just, you know, you actually land a couple hits on him. Like you get like 2 or 3 or even sometimes 4 hits, which equates to like 8 hits as Super Sonic. But yeah, he's really easy. Not a big threat. Yeah, those lasers are so irritating. Because they always, you know, they knock you to the bottom of the screen, and sometimes you can't make your way back up to hit them. So that's kind of irritating sometimes. But anywho, rinse and repeat, really. I mean, phase 1 here. He's just shooting his lasers down at you. Not a big challenge. Got 3 hits on him that time. So that was about 6 hits. Now I believe he's going to move on to phase 2. Yes, he is. So he starts facing you, and really, this is really easy too. 2 hits here ought to do it as Super Sonic. There's 1, and really, it's just that was phase 2. I mean, really easy. Phase 3, since you're not, you know, Sonic himself's not hitting him, you just gotta avoid his missiles here. The arrows obviously tell you, you know, when to go up, when to go down, and you have to do the tornado spin attack for the final hit. And you have to be Super Sonic, obviously, for it to count. And under 2 minutes, not too shabby for the Sky Fortress boss there. Alrighty, I could have cut this out, too. I could have cut this little cutscene out, but I don't know why I didn't. So you have to hear me talk for a couple more seconds extra. God, dude, does anyone else love the Metal Sonic boss fight music? I think it's fantastic. That's just me. I don't know. There are some really good tracks in this game, you know. There's some pretty bad ones, but there's a lot of good ones, too. Very catchy. Destroy that capsule, Sonic. Great job. Beautiful victory dance, the tails there. We free the birdies! Oh, joyous day. Whew, look at that time bonus. And now what you've all been waiting for, probably, is the final boss here. This is very important. To watch everything I do here. Collect every ring that I collect. Do not miss a single one. There's also a hidden ring box I discovered. You see here. So instead of going right, go left. Collect all those rings, then jump there, and you'll land in a little secret passageway there, or whatever. And pick yourself up a ring box, and you get, I believe you end this with 66 rings. So it's very, very, very important you collect all those rings. And make sure you do everything I do. Do not alter your pattern. Do not, alternate hits. Just watch. Okay. This boss is all about wasting your time, I've discovered. And you'll see here in a minute what I mean. Like right now, he's just wasting our time here, doing his dumb little intro. So immediately, right off the bat, fly all the way up to Eggman/Robotnik. But do not hit him yet. What you're going to do right here is collect all of these rings inside the red circle here. It's important you do this before you hit him, because after you hit him once, there's going to be, electric... the floor is going to be have electric panels on it. And you don't want to try to collect those rings, while there's electric panels on the floor, because that's just going to be a lot harder on you. But so it's possible to end up with 90 rings for this boss fight, and those rings are going to be very important. Now, I think I stopped with 89. I think I kind of just said screw it, because what's one ring going to do? But go ahead and hit them. I think a great method is to actually just use Tails' tails to hit them. So the first 2 hits, you're going to want them to be as normal Sonic, and all this is very important as to why that is. Because after you hit him twice, or I think it's actually after 3 times, so 2 hits, he spins you around, he's wasting your time. Then he starts doing this move. And if you did that if you got the first hit as Super Sonic, you would have had to endure that time waster as Super Sonic. But what this does is we bypass that hit, and we basically, since it's double damage, we move on to hit number 4. And he still wastes our time a little bit here, but that's fine. We got plenty of rings. I just like to keep jumping at him as Supersonic, keep going. And that's why it's very important that you collected all 90 rings, or at least 89 or so. And then do your Super 69 into the panel there, immediately transform back into Supersonic, and land the final hit. It's that easy. I think it's a flawless method, if I do say so myself, for defeating that boss and getting the Golden Wave achievement. So I hope I helped you out there, guys. I think that's a pretty good method for all those bosses there. So, good luck, and thank you very much for watching.